What's going on, everybody? This is Raw Dog Sports. I am Mike. That is Evo. And good morning, Vietnam. We've got a hell of a show for you today. Guys, Merry Christmas to all you guys out there. GIs fighting all across the world. And to everybody tuning in today. We appreciate you guys very, very much. My man, Evo. How you doing, brother? You had a great Christmas. I had a very good Christmas with my family. In terms of the gambling and the bets, it did not go well for me. But my guy, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Everyone in the family seems to be fighting off sicknesses. I'm built completely different, so I'm good to go. Viruses ain't got shit on me. It's probably because I fill my body up with all the different black market liquids and things like that I can, and it works. And if you guys want to get on the train of not taking in government-aided subsidy, weird fucking whatever, COVID shots and all that, watch Joe Rogan with me and just get on everything that he tells you to, right? I need a filter real quick to turn myself green or something like that, like CNN did to him. But I'm doing good. Happy to be here. Yes, had a good gambling day as far as Christmas goes. 2 of 3 on that one. Not so much for you. And then also, it looks like you sustained a horrible, absolutely tragic hand injury. I noticed that, and it's on screen right now. Touch and go. We'll watch you on the injury report there. But happy to be here. Real excited about this slate of games that we have both going on today and tomorrow, which we're going to go through today and get some picks in for. But Mike, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, brother. We have an insane show today because we got recap, bets, parlays. We got the whole shebang going today. But you are right. Shout out my father-in-law, by the way. Got me a fucking awesome, or actually us, I think, me and producer Amber, incredible chef's knife set. I was cutting up some steaks because my mom went out and got a strip loin. So man, we were going all out for Christmas. The knives are sharp. Cut right through my finger. I thought I was going to the hospital. That's how bad it was at first, but pulling through.
Look,
shout out Glenn.
Another thing, I typically don't cut myself with knives. Real good about it. And I think it's because my dad loved cooking, which I love cooking as well. But damn if he didn't basically remove parts of fingers all the time. I've seen complete finger pads missing. I know he's got missing like the tip of one of his fingers, and it looks a little wonky because I guess he took it off with like a butcher's knife at a younger age. And I learned real quick that the difference between like medical grade skin glue and CA glue is very little. You can just go out there and buy your average super glue and glue pieces of yourself back on. So whenever I do get like paper cuts and things like that, super glue it up. It works great. And then if you were to lose a limb, you might as well try and super glue it on your way to the hospital.
Glue that bitch back on, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's hard-hitting information from Raw Dog Sports for cooking and limb and wound care. Super glue it. Duct tape, super glue. Be a man and just put yourself back together and act like nothing happened.
Unless your wife is Lorena Bobbitt, and then you should absolutely take yourself to the fucking hospital.
Well, I don't think I've ever had a knife that close. I mean, other than vanity razors to make sure that we're dolphin smooth down below.
Understood.
But I haven't run into too many of those issues.
There you go. All right, my man. So I hope you had a great Christmas. To everybody who's tuning in, I hope you guys all had a great Christmas as well. Me and my family had a good time. The picks did not go well. I got a push in 2 losses. Evo ended up 2-1, but the one loss you take, I mean, your boys get a win in it. So we ready to kind of hop into a recap of all of the holiday festivities. And I got to be completely transparent. I have not watched that Broncos Chiefs game yet. Stranger Things was on, and I was legit serious when I said I was watching fucking Stranger Things. My son's friend was over here, and I was like, "Hey, bro, not spending the night, so either you can come upstairs and watch Stranger Things, or you got to go. Love you, but we're watching Stranger Things."
Well, at the Christmas festivities, there were Broncos fans there. Family, parts of them from Colorado, so they're big Denver sports fans in general. Avalanche are having a great year. Broncos obviously having a great year.
Yeah.
Colorado Rockies. Yep. But Rockies are terrible,
Yeah. They're awful.
Which is fun. But so I definitely watched all 3 games as best as possible because the one game there was on Prime, Broncos and Chiefs, and the rest were on Netflix. And I don't know if it was just the Airbnb I was at or whatever, but the broadcast was ungodly terrible on everything. And so I ended up going from watching on a smart TV to my phone for a lot of it, but I did get to watch all 3 of the games going on. And the one, oddly enough, that I watched the least of with my eyes and more so just with my ears was my Vikings game. But it was a good one, at least to partake in some facet, way, shape, or form. But we'll go ahead and jump into this first one. We had the Cowboys and Commanders in Washington. Cowboys do end up taking the win in this one, 30-23. A game that was a lot closer than it was really expected to be. It came down to that fourth quarter and neither team really being able to do a whole lot. You saw Pro Bowl kicker Brandon Aubrey missing more kicks. Oddly enough, he got in, but the best kicker in the league did not get in. But a big day from Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt.
Bill fucking balled.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if you might have said this before, but it was kind of like a breakout game for him. No, I don't think he's going to be a full-time back. Obviously, rookies take a little bit longer to develop. We are in week 17, so this is where you would hope to start to see stuff. And he's kind of in there, by default because all the other running backs are basically down for Washington. Chris Rodriguez didn't play in this game, but a good game from him. A game that matters very little for either team other than draft seeding and pride at this point. But both these teams did play as if they had some pride on the line. And I was hoping for a big Pickens day. It wasn't a huge Pickens day. We were expecting him to try to play his balls off for a new contract. It was mediocre, 4 for 78, no touchdowns. But overall, Cowboys get the win here. A little bit of an interesting game just because it was a Josh Johnson effort at quarterback for the Washington Commanders, and they were able to hang in pretty close there.
Yeah, he didn't play bad at all, man. Josh he got the ball to his playmakers. Debo had a great day.
Yeah.
Debo balled out.
Debo's having a strong end of the year for sure, and he's encroaching on some big cash incentives if he does continue playing well.
Yeah, I listen. The Commanders have a terrible year. They got hurt all year. Terry McLaurin, they will probably be on the search for a new wide receiver. I mean, they got the deal done with Terry. They got the deal done with Debo. But you think maybe a tight end, like they're going to be in a position to draft one of the guys that maybe you love in this draft, and Sadiq. Now, depending on where they fall to, because obviously at a 4-12 record, tough game, but they played hard in this. They at least made this game worth watching on Christmas Day because the way it kind of looked to start with, I was like, oh, this is going to suck. That first half, the Cowboys kind of ran away with this thing. And George Pickens, I thought was going to be in the end zone 3 different occasions and then wasn't able to get it done while we were passing the parlay around between me, you, and producer Amber. So That was kind of lame.
Yeah, and bringing up Debo again there, He needed 2 catches to earn an extra $450,000 on the year. He needed 61 receiving yards. He hit both of those to earn an extra $250,000. So in this game alone, he made himself an extra $700,000. Now he needs 2 more touchdowns on the year to get another $250,000 bonus. So watch that for their next week to see if he can kind of hit that mark. 2 touchdowns in a game is a tough one for most players. But we're at that time of year where, especially if you're trying to gamble, teams know where players can get incentives and they try to feed these guys a little bit more. You see a little bit of maybe extra effort from the player themselves or their compadres on the offensive side of the ball in order to hit certain milestones. So those are things that I'm trying to post as much as possible on the Raw Dog Sports Facebook page to help you guys with your betting.
Yeah. Knowing what incentives are coming up is a great way to bet that last game. Tom Brady was famous for like making sure his dudes would go out there and get those catches that they needed. Gronk, even Antonio Brown, he was trying to get him his stuff. So yeah, it'll be something to definitely keep track of going into this into that week 17. But hey, decent game, good win for the Cowboys. Draft position once again doesn't really matter. They're going to draft somewhere between probably 10 and 16.
Something like that, yeah.
So,
and an unfortunate push for you in the betting. You took Washington plus the 7 points there, and it was exactly on the 7 point at the 30 to 23 game. So another push on the year. Record-setting pushes for you this year. Just it always sucks. I
hate pushes, man. That's the risk anytime you take an even money spread. Every single time.
Absolutely.
All right, brother. We ready to hop into your game?
Oh, I guess we got to, huh?
Yeah, because listen, I thought this was going to be a more fun game to watch. Now, I'm sure for you, it was fantastic. But this very much goes into kind of the conversation I was having on YouTube not long ago. This game was kind of a blowout because the Lions couldn't hold on to the fucking ball. Jared Goff could not hold on to the fucking ball to save his life. Was it total of 3 fumbles lost in this game by Jared Goff, 4 total, 2 interceptions, so 6 turnovers by this Lions team. It's impossible to fucking win a game with 6 turnovers, let alone being, I believe, -6? So they weren't even just 6 turnovers. They were -6 in the turnover category. It's impossible to win like that. The Lions nobody was going to win with Jared Goff at quarterback in this game because he played one of the worst games of his career. Like, you cannot turn the ball over that many times. And we were talking during the game. It's like, Dan needs to get an OC, and there's a possibility that they may want to look at moving off of Goff. There's been a lot of things over the last couple of years. Goff is a great player when things are going well, but he struggles to elevate everybody else around them when things are not going right. He's a guy that can distribute and does it at a high level, but is he really the guy that takes you over the edge? That's one of the reasons the Rams dumped him, right? They wanted to move on and they went and got Stafford. Are we starting to see some of those same issues pop up?
Yeah, you saw like the difference between Ben Johnson being there with the Lions and not being there is absolutely tangible. The Lions probably need to fire their play caller. At least bring in someone new to do the job because Dan Campbell just isn't cutting it. It was after their first loss to the Vikings that the play calling kind of switched up. And as much as we on this show love Dan Campbell and what he brings to the team, it's not the right role for him to be in to be there calling plays. It was a perfect situation for both Ben Johnson and Jared Goff when they had their full slate of players on that offense. You know, their GM Brad Holmes invested heavily after that trade where they traded for Goff and got rid of Matt Stafford to invest in the trenches. And that offensive line was incredible. And then this year they go in missing basically 3 starters, 3 interior players, and it changed up the dynamic of that offensive line. Then you lost the creativity and kind of the genius that Ben Johnson had, which took away some of Goff's superpowers, which Goff was he's incredible at running whatever offense is given to him. But when you have issues along that offense, specifically the offensive line, in the biggest area that is Goff's weakness, which is interior pressure, he's not a guy that can move off the spot super easily and make accurate passes. So when you're getting that interior pressure, we saw it week 1 versus the Packers, and you're seeing that play out even further into the season. You get him off of his spot, and you get him pressured, and it's very difficult for him to run that offense super effectively. And yeah, he doesn't necessarily elevate everybody. Like, he can feed the ball to all those playmakers in a much more stable environment. And a stable environment is not what he had on Christmas Day. It was an insane pressure package coming from Brian Flores. But before we get into that defensive, game plan from the Vikings, you bring up, is Goff a part of this future? I think it would be very silly for the Lions to move off from Goff. He is a well above average quarterback. You heard MVP chants last year.
True. With
the play that he had. And they need to make some changes in order to bring that back. Part of it being offensive play caller, and they need to fix that interior of the offensive line, which I do like a couple of the guys that they have there once they slowly develop. They're not there yet by any means. But Goff's contract going forward is very prohibitive. The way that it was structured, it is starting to get into some big money now. Jared Goff has a cap hit next year of $70 million, just about $69.5 million. Then 2027, 54.5, and 2028, $61.6 million. The next 3 years of Goff's contract are astronomical. They are top 5 to top 3 level quarterback play contracts. And if you are paying a guy like that, he should be able to overcome some of those weaknesses and issues that the team has, whether it be the play calling or the interior offensive line. And I don't know that he's the guy to do that. So I would expect them to look towards some sort of a restructure extension that spreads some of this money out so that way they can pool assets and resources into kind of fixing those problems. Because not only does that interior offensive line need to be built up and fixed, the defense, we've seen it for multiple years in a row right now, whether it's the injury bug or just having a lack of depth of players in general, is a problem for this team.
But they have good players on that side of the ball, like
Brian
Branch and all of these, but they just keep getting hurt. And then there's the depth has been lacking. They were pulling guys off the street last year.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is every team's going to face an injury issue. You don't get through the year clean. And it's the teams that show that they have some depth where guys can fill in and at least provide starter level play, even if it's not high end. That's the teams that can kind of push into December, January, so on and so forth, to make good things happen in the playoffs. And the Lions just aren't there right now. Brad Holmes has done a fantastic job with that roster over the past several years. I have faith, even being an NFC North fan here, I have faith that he'll be able to do good things for that team. But it's going to be very pivotal because windows open and close extremely quick in the NFL. And it's starting to look like that Lions window got really close to closing right now, just by the end of this year.
Yeah, well, their offensive line being completely, terrible and decimated in the middle also plays a role in how bad their running game has been recently as well. They have not been able to get Montgomery or Gibbs really going. Gibbs has been like, we have bet on Jahmyr Gibbs so many times this year. It's not even funny. But recently it's been a bad play because their offense has been bad and the offensive line has been bad. So they're in a tough spot. They're out of the playoffs. They're not making it. They're going to be looking to reset, rebuild, retool probably, because they are a good team. And we love Dan, but there are some changes that need to be made in the offseason to get them going back in the right direction.
Yeah, you bring up Jahmyr Gibbs in the 2 games versus the Vikings this year. He's been run 26 times and only gained 66 yards, 2.5 yards per carry, no rushing touchdowns. You shut down one of the most dynamic offensive players on the field, and you really stymie that offense. It's always ran, at least in the past several years, it is run through them having a super strong run game, getting defenses focused on that run game, and then being able to attack the middle. And it just hasn't been happening. That was my game plan for the Lions going against my Vikings, was pound the rock, get the defenders up in the box, And then that opens up that middle of the field where then they're allowing Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams to be able to eat through the middle. And it did not happen at all in this game because of that pressure package that Brian Flores was able to bring on the Lions offense. A lot of what Brian Flores does is brings 8 to 9 guys up to that line of scrimmage, and you don't know who's bailing out because he's not going to send all of them every time. They're going to bail people out, but you don't know what's going to happen. That's where the peer progression talks kind of come into play of who's going to be coming, who's going to be going, and quarterbacks don't have the opportunity to look at the defense and decide, oh, this is who's coming. This is how I'm going to shade protections. He doesn't allow you to do that because he'll drop a bunch of guys out. Now the quarterback after the snap has to figure out what's going on. And if you have pressure coming up the interior of the line, then there's no chance for them to figure it out. He doesn't have time. Goff is already behind the 8 ball, and then he's got less than 2 seconds to figure that out before he's going to get sacked. We saw a lot of that pressure happening, a lot of those sacks happening, and he was taken down a bunch in this game.
All right. Well, everything all right over there, brother?
Oh yeah, we got the boys in here trying to get in the show, knocking lights over.
Give me the money.
I had the dogs over here, like trying to get up in here as well. What's up, boys?
You want to come say hi? Just jumping on real quick.
Very quick. All right. My man, you got anything else on the Lions game? Are we ready to move on to Broncos Chiefs?
I have to shout out 2 guys. I mean, obviously Flores did really good, but it was a huge Van Ginkel day.
So good. I told you, I was like, he's my next head coach. That night.
Look, if he can become a head coach, he 100% deserves it. I mean, the guy got fired in Miami because he was winning too many games and didn't want to listen to ownership about tanking. The guy
he said Tua's a fucking shit quarterback, and I can't believe I got stuck with this fucking asshole. Mm-hmm. And they're like, no, you're totally wrong. And then Mike McDaniels goes down there, makes Tua look good for a year or two. And now, guess what? Flores is 100% right. Tua fucking sucks.
Look, Flores is really fucking good, and he's really right. He's right on Tua. But look, Van Ginkel got me ginked all night. Had a phenomenal game from Van Ginkel, 5 sacks, or excuse me, it was 5 sacks for the defense, 4 fumble recoveries, 2 interceptions. But the one that makes me a little bit more emotional is Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith, that was probably his penultimate last game in the NFL. We'll be playing his final game versus the Packers as an NFL player, more than likely. And he's had just such an incredible career with the Vikings. He is a true Viking. I want us to put him in the Ring of Honor immediately. Normally that waits a couple of years. Right. Like they need to break that trend and just put him in now. I would love to keep him on as some sort of a coach. But you see the guy kind of tearing up at the end of the game, talking to reporters, and when it's not even his last game. And he's always been kind of that quiet warrior guy. But he's like, we're not in the playoffs. We're not going for the Super Bowl. And he's like, these fans come out every single week and give us their energy. They're out here in all white. And he's like, this is the reason why we do it. It's because we got the best fans and we're trying our best to get them a Super Bowl, and they're going to get it sooner or later. He's just a football guy, passionate about it. He even said, he's like, I get emotional here talking about this. And he's like, I've been emotional since I was playing Pee Wee. My dad told me I had to find a way to push that away and lock myself down because I can't be doing this out on the field type thing. But a huge day from him. 3 solo tackles, 3 passes deflected, 2 tackles for loss, a sack, and an interception. It was a vintage Harrison Smith game. Obviously, he's lost a step, but such a great fucking player for this team. It's going to be real sad when he does hang him up, which is probably after the final week here. But man, so proud to have had him on my team forever. I remember him being drafted when I was in high school, and to get to watch him play all these years and play at such a high level all these years.
Hall of Famer.
Incredible.
Like Hall of Fame level.
That's the thing, is it's always synonymous to do the stat line, him versus Troy Polamalu. And Polamalu had a great career. Harrison Smith has lapped him in so many stats. And so he's absolutely deserving of a gold jacket.
Yeah, I agree, man. Not a guy that you necessarily hear about all the time, whether that's because of Minnesota or whatever. But yeah, he's been phenomenal for a very, very long time. Great career, great game. You guys got a nice little Christmas dub.
Yeah, and we dropped further in the draft order, which is always fun. At this point, I don't really care.
There's a difference between what I want. See, me wanting to lose and you not wanting to lose makes total sense. You guys have a culture in place that you like, that you want to continue to build around, so you win, and then you draft the best player available at your draft slot. We do not have a culture where I think that it's going to be conducive for us to win. So I hope we lose and fire our fucking coach so we can get a new culture and try to draft the best players available. I think both things make sense depending on what you want, and depending on where you're at. You guys have a great locker room, a great facility. Like, everything about your report card is always banger. So not wanting to lose makes sense. The Browns report card's like, this place is dog shit. The facilities are ass. So, yeah, if we lose to get a better position and fire a fucking lame duck head coach and get somebody new, like maybe a Brian Flores, yeah, I'm all for that.
Yeah. I don't know if these stats are updated for Harrison Smith, but I have to roll them out. Drafted in 2012 by the Vikings, played with this team his entire career. 822 solo tackles, 304 assists for 1,126 total tackles, 21 sacks, 37 interceptions, 9 fumble recoveries, 12 forced fumbles, and 48 tackles for loss from a free safety. Phenomenal player.
Yeah, he's absolutely exceptional. All right, man, let's move on to that Broncos-Chiefs game. And like I said, I did not watch this yet. So, Eva, I'm going to let you kind of take this one away. Let me know what I should be looking out for when I go back and watch this motherfucker.
A surprising performance from Chris Olodokun. Like, he wasn't good, but he was good enough to keep the Chiefs in the game with this Broncos team that is viewed as one of the best teams in the AFC right now. The Chiefs were able to hang despite being down so many players in this game with this Broncos team. And it's been the story of the Broncos all year, where it feels like they just don't really want to put anyone away. We've talked about different storylines of Bo Nix not playing good until the fourth quarter, or this team just barely skirting by with wins, and how flawed is their actual record. It was a very boring, pedestrian game that was close, anybody's game really, up until that fourth quarter. And that's credit to Olodokun, he went 13 of 22 for 66 yards and a touchdown, a very meager day. Yeah. But he was able to run the offense enough to not completely put his team in a bad spot. He had a fumble that he was able to recover, but he didn't do anything to cause his team to give up points necessarily. You could tell that he wasn't, he's not a starting or a backup level quarterback, but he did well enough against one of the better defenses in the league to not put them in a bad spot and kept his team in the game. And then for the Chiefs defense, they played lights out with a lot of different backups and rotational guys in there. Again, playing for very little at this point right now. Like, the Chiefs are going to have one of the best draft slots that they've had since maybe Patrick Mahomes was drafted by them. And these are guys that are used to playing for another month or two. And now they get to take an early break. And we kind of saw that last week versus the Titans. But they played way better than they should have. Or if you want to look at it the opposite direction, the Broncos just couldn't get anything going substantial. I mean, they had lapped, the Broncos had lapped the Chiefs in yards into that third quarter. I think it was 2-1 or 3-1 amount of total yards on offense, but they weren't able to get the ball in the end zone. The better team did win this game, but it seemed like they didn't have any ability to take a lead and put their foot on the throat of the other team. And that's what scares me about this Broncos team going into the playoffs is, are they a sleeping tiger, or are they just a good team that doesn't have the take them out, kill them mentality? Because there are a bunch of different talented pieces there on that Broncos team. Bo Nix can, again, feed the ball to a lot of good players on that team, but he has weird accuracy issues and stuff like that. And it doesn't seem like he figures it out until more so in crunch time, which is a good trait to have, that you can kind of lift your team up and not be, shunned by the moment. That clutch gene that you say guys like Jordan Love doesn't have. Bo Nix has that. It's just I would like to see a more competent quarterback through the entirety of the game, because if you're playing that brand of football, a lot of times other teams will get way out ahead of you, and now it doesn't matter how good of a fourth quarter you have. You're not going to be able to come back. Good day from RJ Harvey, 33 air yards, 43 on the ground. He did enough to be a solid piece to that offense and get them the win. But yeah, it was a very, very close game where it felt like, wow, the Chiefs might be able to steal this one away from the Broncos, because the Broncos just were not playing super exciting football. Definitely not like a 13-3 team, in my opinion.
All right. And this appears to be Travis Kelce's last home game there at Arrowhead. I mean, this is another guy, great career. It kind of sucks to see them going out this way, because I wanted Travis Kelce to have, a nice send off, because he's had, arguably greatest tight end of all time, type numbers. But he had a decent day. He was pretty emotional afterward. I think he knows this is it. This is probably the last time that he will have played at home. This next week will be his last game. Excuse me. So couple of storylines, but Chiefs headed in the wrong directions. Broncos kind of limping into the playoffs. We'll see how this next week goes. But my man, that takes care of our recaps, because I don't have much analysis, because I haven't seen shit on that game yet. We're ready to hop in and start doing some gambling on the rest of the week, because we got a couple games coming up today.
Yeah, look, we actually have a lot of games today. Only 2 games in the NFL, but there are a lot of bowl games, college bowl games. So look, this is a fun weekend for football. If you're just getting done with the holidays, you're still sitting, relaxing, enjoying your new gifts, maybe some, pajamas sporting your team colors or something like that, you get to sit back and watch a really cool slate of college bowl games today. And then you get some NFL football towards the afternoon. So we definitely got to knock out these NFL games though in our picks for them. 2 games today, and then another bunch of games for tomorrow. So I'm ready to jump into it if you are, man.
Yeah, I'm ready to do it. Let's go, brother.
All right. First up today, we have the Houston Texans going versus the LA Chargers in Los Angeles. This should be a pretty fun one, and Vegas is expecting it to be a close one. Chargers are favored at home -1.5, which essentially means that they view these teams as almost a push here, over under a 39.5, a little bit more of a defensive battle. Part of that coming from the Chargers, again, having a really rough offensive line situation, and the Texans being one of, if not the best defense in the league. I don't know, Vikings are giving them a little bit of a run for their money recently, which I didn't even throw that out there. But since week 11, Vikings are number 1 in almost every statistical category on defense in the NFL, which blows my mind. Their best 3rd down defense, best 4th down defense. They're doing incredible, but that's not to, I don't need to talk about the Vikings anymore.
Listen, Brian Flores can ask for any amount of money he wants. Jimmy Haslam will pay it. Look at the Deshaun Watson contract.
Yeah. But that is not to shy on this Texans defense. They are outstanding, incredible. And I do think they are probably the best defense in the league, going up against a hampered offensive line for Harbaugh and this Chargers team. So this is going to be a very interesting matchup to see if Harbaugh is able to get much going on offense behind that tattered offensive line. But Justin Herbert has been incredible through the past several games. So, Mike, where are you going at in this one?
Okay, so I like this Chargers team. I took them this last week, and it worked out for me. Not only did they get plus the points, they were able to win. But that was going against the Dallas defense, right? So they were able to do a lot of different things and move pocket and make sure that pressure did not get to Herbert so he could operate behind kind of a tattered offensive line. I do not think they're going to have that ability in this game with the Texans defense. That Texans defense, like you said, is fucking special. Plus 1.5 is good and all, but this is, I mean, when we're talking about 1.5, and that's the away team, that's essentially a pick 'em. I can get plus 100 even money odds on the Texans money line, and that's where I'm going. That's the best odds that we can get for this thing, and I feel like they are a team who is poised to win this game because that offensive line for the Chargers, I don't think will hold up against that really vaunted pass rush that Houston has.
Yeah, it's tough because I like the Chargers here. I want to pick the Chargers here. The Texans showed a little bit of their flaws last week going up against a Raiders team that actually kind of took it to them, going 23-21 versus the Raiders is a bit of an embarrassment. And that's where I think that D'Amico Ryans is going to get this defensive crew, like their head back in the game. They slept a little bit too much on the Raiders last week, and they're not going to allow that to happen this week. They know that this Chargers team is a potential playoff team. They know that they have to, if they want to have any sort of a run in the playoffs, that they have to play against these teams really good. And this team, their weaknesses suit really well with the way that this defense is playing. So I'm also going to be going with Houston. I'm going to take them plus the points here. Not betting this game personally because I'm hoping that this one is a close one down to the wire, and I'm not super invested in it. But I'll take Houston plus the points here. Though I am hoping for a good game. I wouldn't be surprised to see the Chargers somehow eke this one out because Harbaugh always seems to find a way to play really good despite those injuries.
All right. So moving on to the next one, going from one Harbaugh to another, the Ravens heading up to Green Bay. Green Bay favored -3, over under 38.5. Tons of speculation about the relationship between Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson and what is going on with Lamar and everything with that organization. They are playing for their lives tonight on the season. They will still need help even if they are able to pull off a win. Can the Ravens really go all the way up to Green Bay in fucking December with all the turmoil going on and get a win? I don't think so. I'm telling you right now, I had faith in the Ravens earlier in the year. When Lamar came back, I thought, okay, they're getting healthy. It's time to go. And it never fucking happened. And then we hear all of these rumors that there's problems with Lamar off the field and him and fucking Harbaugh are butting heads and all of this shit. I think that really spells bad news. Very rarely do the Ravens miss the playoffs, but I feel like this is that year. I got the Packers winning this game, and I'm going to drop the 3 points. Evo, where are you going?
All right. Packers -3 there. Look, Lamar Jackson doesn't even matter. He's not playing in this game. It's Snoop Huntley, which Lamar's not been good this year. Not that Snoop Huntley's been great, but you're not seeing a whole lot of difference between the two players, which for the amount of money Lamar is getting does make you question just from a business standpoint going forward with him. But the reckless speculation of the offseason can't help but leak into the regular season now because fans, again, we are so used to immediate gratification and wanting changes. I see it with my fan base all the time and JJ McCarthy. And what are we doing next offseason at quarterback because he's not the guy or something like that. And you're seeing that again with a guy who has been looked at and has been deserved of the MVP multiple times. I don't think he's having a fall off like Kyler Murray, but this has definitely been his worst season in the NFL. But regardless, that's off-season talk. We don't need to get into that right now.
Right.
We're talking about this game versus the Packers. Jordan Love also not going to be playing this game. Malik Willis is going to be out there starting. And the Packers were gifted on Christmas a lock spot in the playoffs by my Vikings after they beat the Lions. So the Packers know we have the playoffs. They can actually start to kind of coast a little bit more because they know that they aren't going to take first place in the NFC North. They aren't really fighting for a whole lot of position right now. They are in a wild card slot, and that is pretty much locked in place. So going and letting Malik Willis play, who's probably the better quarterback there right now, isn't a hard decision for them. They're down Micah Parsons. They don't have to push to play guys who are injured or anything like that. the Packers can coast a little bit more. Playing in Green Bay in December is a big get for them. But the Ravens, they are still technically fighting for that playoff spot. I think that they have a little bit more to play for. After last week and how embarrassing that was, where they had the game essentially locked up, and then they make some really, really boneheaded decisions to not run Derrick Henry, which makes me think Derrick Henry has not had fumbling issues until this year in his career, and then all of a sudden he's having them at pivotal points in the game. Maybe they weren't running him because they actually had it in the back of their mind, a little bit of fear that, hey, he could give up the ball, he could cough up the ball, and that's not the way to play football. You need to be aggressive with it. You can't be like, oh, this is this guy's weakness. Sometimes so we're going to lean away from it. They needed to run the ball with Derrick Henry, and I think they're going to continue to do that more in this game. I think that the Packers winning is probably the easiest bet here. But I'm going to take the Ravens plus the points because I think that there's a possibility that the Ravens could steal one here versus the Packers, who are feeling a little bit comfortable because they are locked into the playoffs. They're going to be playing some backups, albeit ones who might actually be better than the starters. But I'm going to go with the Ravens plus the points here. One of the tougher ones to pick because I don't like picking Green Bay, but I do think that they will win this game. But the Ravens could keep it close or actually steal one here in Green Bay.
All right, man. So direct opposite picks there. We'll see how that one plays out, but that'll take us. That's the end of our Saturday games. There are 2 games tonight. So people, if you want to get those bets in, go ahead. We agree that Houston should come out on top. Evo's taking the points. I'm taking the money line, and we disagree on the night game. I'm going Packers -3. Ravens taking. Evo is taking the Ravens +3. Ready to move on to the next one, brother?
Yeah, let's do it. We have the Seattle Seahawks going into Carolina versus the Panthers. The line here, Panthers getting 7.5 points at home, over under a 42.5. This is a Panthers team that got a big win last week. Seattle Seahawks obviously had a grunge match up in Washington last week versus the Rams, where they had to come back from behind. We talked about that Thursday night game ad nauseum. One of the, in my opinion, best Thursday night game we've seen ever. But now they have to go in here versus this Panthers team. And on the face of it, Panthers are typically the laughing stock of the league, but this year they're actually playing pretty damn good. They're not having a bad showing. The Panthers seem to be that team, again, that plays down to bad opponents and won't blow out bad opponents. But when they play good teams, they play really well. And they're in this time of year where they need to play well because they're going up against another playoff team here. If the Panthers truly believe that they are a playoff team, which as of right now, they are, they have to win this game. So, Mike, where are you going at in this one? Is Seattle just too good? Is that defense too good? Is Sam Darnold going to toss aside any of the late season issues that he's had in the past and show that he was the type of quarterback that he was in the fourth quarter and overtime of last week's game?
Yes, to most of those questions. I think the Seahawks do win this game. 7.5 is a lot because the Panthers are actually playing for something like this point in the season. I mean, Seattle's still playing for something. They're playing for playoff seeding at this point. I mean, because I think they still have a shot to, I'd have to double check the standings real quick, which I will. But I think they are still right there with a chance to win that division. Oh, they are leading that division. And I mean, they're going to win.
They're leading the NFC. They're the 1 seed right now.
They lock everything up pretty much with a win here.
Yeah, they're the 1 seed right now and leading that division.
Yeah, so they're going to win this game. They can rest everybody next week. A win today gives them rest next week, a bye. Now, will they want to do that with a bye already coming? Who knows? But I think they get this thing done. Panthers will be coming down to the final week with the Bucs, figuring out who the fuck's going to win that awful, awful division. But I'm taking Seattle on the money line. 7.5 is a lot because you're still playing a professional team who is fighting for their playoff lives as well. Seahawks money line.
Yeah, look, in my opinion, credit to Panthers for everything that you've done this year, for how well you're fighting there in the NFC South. I don't think that you have a long run in the playoffs ahead of you, even if you make it there. Seattle's the better team. Seattle's by far and away the better team if they play the better running back. But we know they won't do that. And also, like I said, Carolina plays these teams really fucking close and really well. They beat the Rams this year, which mind blower, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take Carolina plus the points here. The easy play is Seattle on the money line. I do like Seattle to win this game, but I think that the Panthers will at least keep it close enough to keep it interesting. So give me Carolina plus the 7.5. I think that they probably won't win this game. Seattle should absolutely win this game, but the way the Panthers play good teams, I think they can keep it close.
All right. We'll see how it works out. Both of us could hit on there. 7-point win would work. But my man, let's move on to the next one. We got the Cardinals going down to Cincinnati, or I guess coming up to Cincinnati. Bengals favored -7, over under 53.5. A lot of points expected in this one. And when you look at these two defenses, it makes a lot of sense. Evo, where are you going in this one?
It's going to be a blowout. I'm not going to drop the 7 points here, but Cincinnati's going to win this one. And I think they could win by 2 touchdowns, to be completely honest. I like Cincinnati a lot in this game. A big day for Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase in this one. Not a ton else to go over here. This Cardinals team is kind of ramshambles right now. We'll see if they have to change up that coaching staff or not. I think Petzing should absolutely be gone no matter what, but everybody's on the chopping block there, including Kyler Murray. Give me the Bengals on the money line for this one.
Bengals money line makes a lot of sense. I'm going to get a little wild. I have tried to play overs that have been like, oh, maybe that could hit. This one is crazy high. I'm fucking taking it anyways. Both of these defenses are fucking terrible. You want to talk about bulk stats? This is a fucking bulk stat dream. Jacoby's going to throw it 50 times because he's going to have to, because Joe Burrow is going to put up a fuckload of points against a terrible Cardinals defense. I'll give me the over 53.5. And right. What is going to be an absolute fucking shootout.
Yeah, I can see it happening. Jacoby has hit over 200 passing yards, I think, basically every start that he's had. So you know he's going to be throwing the ball. They don't have a run game there for Arizona, so they have to be throwing the ball around. So expect a lot of passing theatrics in this one. Next up, Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Miami Dolphins. A little Florida game here. Dolphins are getting 5.5 points at home at -108 odds here. Over under a 44.5 on this one. Buccaneers obviously fighting for their playoff hopes. They need this win in order to kind of maintain their closeness to the Panthers in order to have this Week 18 matchup versus the Panthers be really exciting. Are the Bucs going to be able to do enough to get the win here versus the Dolphins? Or is, I believe, the Quinn Ewers-led Dolphins going to be able to kind of play spoiler here to the Bucs?
So it's really hard to decide in this game because Baker has played like shit and Baker is still hurt. That is the reason that Baker has played like shit. But at the same time, if you look at the flip side, you're like, Quinn Ewers. Fuck, I don't know. What are they going to really be able to do? Because last week, Quinn showed that, you know, he's not a world beater by any means. He was a mid-round quarterback, late to mid-round quarterback at that. So, I mean, this feels like it should be a Bucs win. It really should. But I feel like no matter what, it's going to be close because the Bucs haven't been beating anybody very solidly. They've been losing the teams they shouldn't be losing to. It feels dirty, but I'm going to take the Dolphins plus 5.5. I think if the Bucs win, they win by 3 or 4 points. I don't know that they win by a full touchdown because that's what they essentially has to happen here. I don't know, man. The Bucs are not. They're still hurt. Baker's beat the fuck up. I don't see it. So I'm going to go Dolphins plus 5.5.
Yeah, the Dolphins have been playing a weird brand of football, especially the second half of this year. The Quinn Ewers equation definitely scares me a lot because he didn't look great in the last game. This should be a Devon Achane heavy type of game there for Miami. But I do like Tampa Bay to win this one, so I'm going to take them on the money line. I do agree with you. This could be a lot closer than it should be for comfort for Tampa Bay fans. But I like Tampa Bay to win. And talking about one of our previous games here, Carolina to lose but keep it close within the number, to make this Week 18 matchup really interesting, because the Bucs are 1 game back right now. If Bucs win, Carolina loses, they both go into their Week 18 matchup versus each other with even records there, both I believe at 8-8 at that point, if these predictions go correct, to make it kind of a super fun spectacle in Week 18. If this goes opposite, it changes things up completely for Week 18, a lot less fun. So I'm going to go with Buccaneers to win on the money line. But this absolutely could be a much closer one, which makes the 5.5 there for Miami definitely viable.
All right, playing the storylines. I like it. Ready to move on to the next one, brother?
Yes, sir.
All right, so we got the Jags going into Indianapolis, taking on the Colts, who are home dogs. Jacksonville's favored -5.5, over under 48.5. Jags have been on a fucking roll. They are in prime playoff position. I think technically, with some help, they could even maybe get into. No, Broncos are 2 games ahead, so that's not going to work. But they have a chance to be the number 2 seed going in if they get some help from the Patriots. They've played phenomenal, and this Colts team is downtrodden. 5.5. I don't know, man. That it seems like it could be more than that, the way the Jags have played recently. Where are you going?
Indy's got a spicy defense at times. They do. Yeah. And we saw it 2 weeks ago where they were able to, play really, really good versus Seattle and give the old man Phillip Rivers a chance to keep them in the game. And they were there right at the end. It came down to field goals, trading field goals to end up getting the win for Seattle. But you can't do that week in and week out with that defense. They aren't the same sort of a defense as we see from like Houston or Minnesota right now. Right. I expect a good game from Indianapolis, but the Jacksonville showed versus the Broncos last week. They can play a really good defense. They can still overcome. Trevor Lawrence is on a heater right now. Etienne's on a heater right now. Jacoby Myers is doing great things. I like Jacksonville on the money line in this one. Indianapolis, what looked to be just an incredible season for them definitely is kind of coming to a close. So I'm taking Jacksonville on the money line here as the safer play.
All right. I'm going to do the more dangerous play, and I'm dropping the points for the Jags, man. The Colts season ends this weekend. They had a fucking hell of a start. Jonathan Taylor was amazing. Injuries caught up. The Jags have been absolutely rolling. I mean, DeForest Buckner, I think, is now banged up as well, right?
I believe he's on IR.
Yeah,
he's on IR, has to have surgery on a re-aggravated injury.
Yeah, so things are not trending in the Colts' direction. I feel bad for them. This is not indicative that I think that they're a shit team. It's just at this point in the season,
the wrong time to hit the injury bug.
Yeah, it sucks. It is the way it is. Jags -5.5 for me. Go ahead, brother. I'm ready for the next one whenever you are.
All righty. Next up, New England versus the Jets. Jets at home are getting 13.5 points, over under of 42.5. The Patriots are fucking good, man. They're good. And the Jets are real fucking bad. I hate double-digit spreads. I'm going to continue with that. I'm going New England on the money line here.
-1,200.
It feels like a little bit of a layup, but the Patriots are real good right now. Even though they have some guys who are injured, I believe even Trevion Henderson is questionable for this game at this point. There is such a better team at this point. So I'll take New England on the money line.
Yeah, this is a game I am not going to bet, and neither should anybody else if you are going to do what me and Evo are doing, because I'm also going Patriots money line. I would love to drop the points, but it's a division matchup. The Patriots are a better team, but like you said, they're guys that are probably not going to be playing. They are coming down to the end. They're going to rest guys if they can, because I don't think that the Jets are going to really stress them at all. Who is Brady Cook still starting for the Jets in this game?
Yeah.
I mean, Patriots money line, but at -1,200 odds, keep it out of a parlay.
Yeah. So. Jets, I don't think Aaron Glenn is a tank type of coach, but they are realistically in a position where they need to try to get the best draft pick possible if they want to go for a quarterback in this draft. So dropping games here is important for their future to try to get into a slot to get one of the two probably quarterbacks that are going to be available in this draft. And if not get them, continue to develop assets for the future. This team has got so many holes on it that if you get into the third pick or fourth pick or something like that, where they can either take the quarterback, or if they're not high on one of them, wait till next year, you can trade back a little bit, still develop a ton of young, talented players, and go after that quarterback next year. They need the best draft slot that they can get to give themselves options. So it makes sense for them to lose this one. We don't advocate tanking completely on the show, but this is certain times you need to do what's best for your team in the long run.
Yeah. Listen, when I say tank, I don't want you to go out there and literally just hand the fucking game, because that's pointless. But you know what? If you go out there, you're playing, and things are not going well, you don't need to be like, all right, let's try every fucking trick in the book. You can literally just, you know what? We're getting our asses beat right now. Let's let some younger guys get in. Let's see if they can play a little bit, and then we'll just go ahead and pack it in. You don't need to keep in your starters when you're getting your fucking dick kicked in. That's the kind of tanking I'm okay with. What I'm not okay with, we'll talk about it here soon, is, hey, by the way, you're really good, and we don't want you to play because we want to lose on purpose. That's bullshit. Anyways, Patriots should win this one by a landslide. But
yeah, they should be playing their backups, their developmental guys out there. See what they got. See if the cream rises to the top.
Yeah, you start your starters. You let them go. If the game is progressing where, you know what, you're way behind and you're fucking down by 2 scores. Okay, now at this point, we're down by 2 scores. I got guys I want to get a look at going into next year, because I know this year's not going forward. You are tanking, but you are doing it with a purpose. It's entirely different than things that are happening elsewhere across the league.
Yeah. All right, next up, a game that no one really wants to watch unless you're part of this fan base for either of these teams. And even then, you might still watch a different game because this is just a rough one. New Orleans Saints versus the Tennessee Titans. Titans are getting 2.5 points at home, minus 106 odds, over under of 39.5. Not expected to be a big scoring game here. But we do have the Saints shucking it out. Shuck's been having a great time. The running back situation there is really rough for him. Your exciting whites are doing their things down in New Orleans, and the Titans were able to get a pretty big win for them emotionally, at least, versus the Chiefs last week. Are they going to be able to continue to kind of ride that high into next year while they continue their search for a new head coach? Or was that just kind of a fluky situation where you're playing the Chiefs, who are down multiple quarterbacks and players not wanting to play anymore?
Man. So, well, first of all, they're not my exciting whites. They just happen to be exciting whites. All right. I don't own these exciting whites. All right. Owning people
as a black guy, I don't want to own.
We learned that a long time ago. Owning people is bad. They're not mine exciting whites, but this game is going to be weird. Which of these rookie quarterbacks is going to show that they progressed the most? Shuck has played really well over the last couple of weeks. I cannot talk shit. He's played really well, and he has a chance to outplay the number 1 pick in the draft and show that he could be the guy. Cam Ward has played better recently, but we don't know what's going to happen with that organization after this year, because they're going to be looking for a new head coach. I can't imagine they're going to be retaining the interim. So I'm going to go ahead and rock with the Saints. They have a little bit more direction right now. They've been playing better. Shuck has been playing better. So I'm going to rock with the Saints. I think it's entirely possible it could go the completely opposite direction. Both of these teams are up and down from week to week. More downs than ups. But I will rock the Saints on the money line here.
Yeah, I think the Saints are a slightly better team here. That they're slightly further along roster wise, despite having injuries and whatnot. And so I'm doing the crazy thing here that no one should do. I'm dropping the 2.5 in New Orleans.
Oh, wow.
I think that this game is anyone's game, which means playing the spread is a very difficult thing. Dropping the points is not the smartest play. Plum pick here, though, I'm going with the Saints minus 2.5 because I think that they win by a touchdown or between 5 and 7 points, I'll say. I think that they're that much better of a team. I think that after a win versus Kansas City last week, that was the Titans Super Bowl, and now they're looking towards the offseason. So we're not going to see the same sort of performance. So New Orleans minus the 2.5.
All right.
Don't follow me, people.
Okay. Listen, hey, you're going to get better odds there. I mean, you're going to get minus 114 instead of minus 148. So I get it. But my man, you ready to move on to our last 1:00 game for the day?
Yeah, it is Pittsburgh Steelers versus your Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Browns are getting 3 points at home. Over under a 34.5, a real low scorer here. And this is another, we are on record watch right now for Myles Garrett. Myles saying that he would love to be able to break that record versus Aaron Rodgers. You have the Steelers without DK Metcalf for a couple games because of the sideline altercation.
I think it's more than a couple games. Like his season's over and his career and his time in Pittsburgh may be over.
It's possible for sure. I mean, he's definitely.
We'll talk more about the whole thing that happened with that because the press conference and everything with that was fucking crazy.
Dude, that guy looks like such a skis ball.
He's a fucking schmuck. Now, listen, DK was wrong, and I stand by everything I said before about DK being fucking wrong, and he should not have done that. However, this guy is also fucking wrong. It kind of I shouldn't say the C word again, but he is one of those. Yeah, there we go. He's a cunt. He really is. He sucks as a human being. That guy is awful. DK still fucked up. That guy blows.
That guy with the backwards hat and the suit in the press conference, he's like, epitome of in the dictionary as a douchebag, and also exactly the type of guy that like walks out into traffic and then flops down on your hood.
On your car.
After you stop, you stop at a crosswalk and then he walks by and flops on your hood. And he's like, "Oh my God, you owe me millions of dollars because my hip hurts." That's the type of individual that he is. He could have flopped better, I guess, when he got punched. Like if you had acted like you were knocked out, then that guy, everyone's on his side, like, holy shit, DK just knocked him out. Right. This one, no, he was egging him on. He took the hit, and then afterwards he was like, yeah, that's what I wanted. Yeah. Like, come on. Like, big time douchebag move. Nobody likes you, and I hope that you fail in life. But you probably are getting a lot of money probably coming your way more sooner than later. But yeah,
he is going to make a fuckload of money off it.
Yeah,
that's exactly what he wanted.
I just truly hope that the NFL does not ever allow him into a game again. I hope that's still on the table somewhere.
There's such a weird thing there with how it's all going to work between, like, because they have basically said no, he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't break the code of conduct, and they've fucking said this now multiple times about this douchebag. So I don't know how they're going to go back on it now. But before we break down that more, let's talk about this Steelers-Browns game because DK will not be there. Who are the weapons then that he's going to have, that Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to utilize? It's going to be Kenneth Gainwell. It's going to be Jaylen Warren. It's going to be quick game, check downs, all of that stuff. It's going to be tough for Myles.
Washington at tight end. I'm surprised that they haven't signed Allen Lazard yet. Adam Thielen at wide receiver. Like
it's going to be quick game, getting the ball out of Aaron's hand. It's going to be tough for Myles, I think, to get this record in this game.
Yeah.
But that's what we're on the lookout for, because I've said it multiple times. I hope the Browns lose the rest of the games, but everybody plays really well. I hope we lose because of a terrible coaching decision or something that is very clearly a coach's fault, because this coaching staff needs to go. I want everybody to play well, but we are not in a position where improving our draft slot is a good thing. I mean, we need the most assets available. I went through and did a mock draft this morning, my first mock draft of the year, traded down from 3 to 6 with the fucking Cardinals, who are coming up to go and get Dante Moore, by the way, in my scenario. And we draft fucking Carnell Tate, and then we get more picks and go after linemen. That's where I see this going. That's kind of what I hope for. And I'm not willing to take another fucking push. Even money spreads, I'm kind of trying to stay away from. This game should be won by the Steelers. But there are a lot of things working against the Steelers right now. I'm having a hard time deciding where to go. Where are you going, Evo?
Well, I had to pull up the weather here for tomorrow, and it looks
rainy,
absolutely nasty.
Yeah, actually, I don't know that I will be going out and shooting tomorrow because of what the weather report looks like. Like, I've been out there every weekend shooting for my documentary. The weather is so bad, I might not be able to actually go out and shoot. That's what the weather's like tomorrow.
Yeah, it looks like you're going to be in the high 40s, low 50s with 80 to 60% rain all through the day. Nasty weather, which is probably the reason, along with your good defense, by 34 and a half. I was sitting here typing out the over, and I was like, this over still seems pretty fucking low. And then I looked at the weather, and I was like, that explains a little bit more of it. You don't have a Quinshon Judkins there to run the ball. Yeah. It's going to be a Dylan Sampson, Raheem Rocket Sanders, that sort of a situation going for you there. So that does make this one a little bit tougher here.
Yeah, this is a really tough game to call. And I'm a Browns fan. Like, I want to just take my Browns plus the points. Or I would love to say that they can win this thing. But there are so many things that have worked against the Browns. Like, even when Shadur plays well, he is still making mistakes. And they're playing against the Steelers with a very veteran defense. And when you slow everybody down in the shit weather conditions, the slow Steelers defense it becomes more normalized to your offense. And so it's really tough. I'm going Steelers on the money line here. I'm not dropping the points. The Steelers have shown all year that they are the better team. I fucking hate them, but this is a show where we talk about gambling, not my love for my team. So I'm going fucking Steelers on the money line.
All right. I'll take your Browns plus the 3 points. In a game that's probably going to be low scoring and close, I'll take the team that's getting the points here. So Cleveland plus the 3 points in this matchup, despite not really having anything that's telling me why I should, other than
every time that we picked opposite on each other's teams, and we would pick against the teams, typically it works out for us. Yeah. So.
All right. Next up, New York Giants versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders at home getting 2.5 points at minus 108 odds, over under a 41.5. Another kind of toilet bowl game here. Mike, thoughts on this one? Thoughts on sitting players who are injured?
Yeah. Okay, so this is obviously what I was alluding to earlier. And this game decides the number 1 overall pick. Flat out. That's what happens. This game decides the number 1 overall pick. Whoever loses gets the number 1 pick. The Raiders need that fucking pick way more than the Giants do, because the Giants already have their quarterback of the future. The Raiders have every intention on losing this game. They are not going to win. I do not care what the odds are, the spread is, none of that. The Giants are winning this game. The Raiders are going to fucking make sure that happens. They have IR'd Brock Bowers, and they have done so much to make sure that they're going to lose this game, but they have, I'm pretty sure, fractured the relationship with their best goddamn player. They have told, not Mason Crosby.
Max Crosby.
Max Crosby, that he is not playing. He is done. They are going to shut him down. He is not hurt. He has not played bad. He has incentives that he can hit. And they are saying, sorry, brother, you're done for the year. This is the worst type of tanking. There is no reason that Max should not be playing in this game. Now, if you want to take him out at a certain point, if the Raiders are down, like we talked about, so you can see young guys, sure. But this is bullshit. The Raiders are full on tank mode. They are going to lose this game. Giants -2.5 in the most slam dunk of all slam fucking dunks. The Raiders are not winning.
Yeah, and I like the Giants to win this game, so I'm taking them on the money line. Because the Giants have a reason to not want to win either, but they're not
number one overall
sitting
pick.
their starters. You have Dart going out there. You want to see progression from Dart. You want to see him play. They still have Tyrone Tracy and Wan'Dale Robinson, Darius Slayton. They have these guys going out who are playing football. You have Kafka, who probably believes that he has a chance to take over as the full-time head coach, but at least is looking for another OC job in the near future. So he's playing for a lot. And the Giants know they don't need a quarterback. So if they don't get the first overall pick, it's not as huge of a loss for them because you still are getting a really good draft slot where you can still trade with another desperate team for at least a second quarterback.
You can trade down one spot and fucking get Arvell Reese, who people think is possibly the best player in this draft. Like, there are so many things that they could do from their position, sure, but they are not in a position where they absolutely have to get this pick. The Raiders are taking a quarterback. If they don't get the number one overall pick, they will be the first people in line to call the goddamn Giants. They're going to have to outbid the Jets, which is going to be really tough, but they have every intention on taking a quarterback and trying to have their pick of who that is. They are going to lose this game, man. I would not be surprised to see some wild coaching decisions in this game.
Oh, can you really reel in Pete Carroll and make him toe the company line?
Do you really have to?
I don't know.
When you look at this Raiders team, now granted they played much better last week, right? Fought and still came up short. I don't know, man. I don't think they're invested at all. And the fact that separates a locker room as well. Their best guy, their leader, fucking Mr. Raider right now says, "What? You're not playing me? Fuck you. I'm leaving the facility." That's bad vibes. Bad vibes for the entire locker room. Even if Pete wanted to rally him, I'm not sure he can at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough spot to be in there for sure. But yeah, I agree. Giants win this one. Giants on the money line for me. Next up, Philadelphia Eagles and Buffalo Bills. Bills are favored at home -1.5, over under a 44.5. We have decent games recently from A.J. Brown, getting the running game going a little bit more for the Eagles. I still don't think that they look like what they have in the past couple years, but you also have a Bills team with a lot of weaknesses.
Yeah.
But Josh Allen, despite a foot injury, going to be going out there full go, getting the points there. Are the Buffalo Bills going to be able to establish that run game with James Cook that has been such a good thing for them recently in getting them wins? Or are the Eagles going to be able to find a way to shut that down?
Man, you know what's crazy is I just think the Bills are legitimately a better team right now.
That's not crazy.
The Bills didn't play great against the Browns by any means. Josh Allen did not play great. He got the foot dinged up in that game. But I think the Bills overall right now have been playing far better. The Eagles can be great. We've seen Max Eagles be obviously best in the world. But at no point has that group really gelled and come together and been the best of themselves in a full game. Like, I don't think that they've had a complete game. And I'm not sure it's coming. The Bills, for all the things that they lack, have something that nobody else has. Fucking Josh Allen and his ability to just will a team to victory on his back. I mean, that's exactly what he did against the Patriots. Can he do that again against the Eagles? Yeah, Josh Allen is going to start to have to he's going to have to get over the foot injury and then catch a rhythm. But this is his biggest chance to go out and win a Super Bowl this year. The AFC is wide open with just a shitload of young quarterbacks with little to no playoff experience and Josh Allen. I think we're going to start taking that step. Josh plays fucking great, plays much better than he did against the Browns. Bills get the win. I'm actually going to drop 1.5 because that's nothing more than a pick 'em in my mind at home. So I'd rather take the -110 than the -120. So that's where I'm going.
Yeah, I'm going to take Buffalo to win this one on the money line as well. Look, the Bills technically have more to play for here than the Eagles. The Eagles are going to be able to coast in. They're already locked in the playoffs. They already won their division. There's no worry about them possibly being overtaken in the division and getting a wild card slot. They're right now pretty much firmly entrenched in the 3 seed, and they can't really go a whole lot higher. You need the Bears to lose 2 games here for them to have a chance of moving up to like the 2 seed and for the Eagles to win out. That's not super likely. The Seahawks would need to have a tumultuous end here in order for the Eagles to really move up too much. And then as far as the 4 seed, that's being locked into the NFC South, and those teams aren't catching up either. So the Eagles can't really play for a whole lot of different, home field advantage positioning in this one. So they're able to kind of coast here. And a team that could focus on getting a little more healthy. Hey, we're going to ride this out, not take too many injuries going into the playoffs so that way we can be at full strength. They're able to coast a little bit more. And obviously, as a playoff team and as a good football team, you don't completely coast, but they are able to be in that position where they can coast, and they have coasted, it feels like, for most of this year. Whereas the Bills, they are still only 1 game back from the New England Patriots in the division. They have more to play for. They have more to prove at this point that they are still within that window. This is probably close to one of their last shots to being in the Super Bowl window, so they have to kind of go all out to get as best a positioning as possible. So Bills in this one, it's a bigger game for the Bills than it is for the Eagles, and so they're going to be playing a little bit tougher at home.
All right, so you got Bills money line, or was that dropping the points?
Bills on the money line. Bills on the money line for me.
Bills money line. All right, my man. It's going to take us to our Sunday night game. Big time matchup. Should be a fun one. We got the Bears going out to San Francisco, taking on the 49ers, who are favored -3 over under 52.5. Caleb Williams has shown that he can get it done late in games. Fucking Brock Purdy, balls. And the 49ers are consistent as consistent comes, almost to a point where they're boring, some would say. Evo, where are you going in this game, my man?
Yeah, look, Bears, again, credit to them. They're winning the North this year. Ben Johnson has been gangbusters for this team. Huge hire. That roster is kind of gelling, coming together. This is going to be a tough matchup here versus the 49ers, though, because the 49ers are still playing for a hell of a lot. The 49ers are favored at home. I kind of like the Bears plus the points here, but I'm going to take the 49ers on the money line. I think this team is gelling, coming together well here at the end of the year. And the Bears, I don't want to call it coast mode because I don't think Ben Johnson is going to allow them to coast as well. Like they are going to continue to try to ride this high. The way the Bears play teams, they aren't getting blown out by anyone. The wins that they get typically are where, it's last second wins and things like that, kind of theatrics at the end. So the Bears, I think, will be close in the end of this game, which is why I really would like to take the Bears plus the 3 points. I feel a little bit safer, a little bit more content with the 49ers on the money line as the win here, because I'm scared about the push potential of that plus 3 points.
Yeah, the push is also keeping me away from taking the Bears plus the points. If it were 3.5, I'd be going Bears. Yeah. But because of that, I'm also going 49ers. And they've been fantastic. Their defense, really good. And the coaching matchup is what I cannot wait to see in this, man. Like, these are 2 baller-ass coaches with excellent offensive schemes. I think we could see a lot of points. They're saying that, 52.5, but also these defenses have been opportunistic as hell for both of them. I don't know why I said opportunistic like that, but that's just the way it came out. I'm going 49ers on the money line as well. If I had the hook, I'd be going Bears. I think this will be a close, fun-ass game to watch. Sunday night should be good, but I got to go 49ers here, even though I think they're boring. This will be a less boring game because they'll actually be competing.
Yeah, I think this will be a competitive matchup, which is great for Sunday Night Football. matchup at the end of the year. But that takes us to our Monday night game. LA Rams at the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons are getting 8.5 points at home. Obviously, their season's done. Kirk O'Chain's running out there to kind of wrap up towards the end of the year. Over under a 49.5, expecting some points to be put up there. Rams coming off of a tough loss on Thursday Night Football, a really close game. But Rams, just a really fucking good team. Falcons, glimpses of being okay at times this year. Obviously, you've really hammered your thoughts home about them being super mega ass. 8.5 points. The Rams should absolutely win by that. I'm taking the Rams on the money line. Safer bet here. Rams should absolutely win this game. If it's closer, it's just because it's a primetime game and you're seeing a little bit of oomph from the Falcons, which scares me a little bit. But I'm taking Rams money line as a safer pick here.
Yeah, I'm actually doing the same thing just because the Falcons have shown that they can score some points. Even with Kirk O'Chain's, like, they have found ways to score points. If they are healthy at wide receiver, is Drake London playing in this fucking thing?
Yes, I believe so.
So that gives me a little bit more pause on dropping points because they can fucking score. They have really talented offensive pieces. Bijan Robinson's a fucking dog. The Rams are exceptional, so I expect them to win, and that's just where I'll leave it. So I'm not gonna drop any points there. But Rams money line sounds like a good play to me.
All right, sounds good. That wraps up week 17, but we do still have a good boy who's been sitting here waiting patiently to throw out his bet for the week, and it's a big one. He's trying to get you more money. Look, Christmas is over. Maybe some presents need to be returned and better presents need to be gotten because kids were crying. Those little rat bastards. But Blitz is like, nah, we're going to finish out the year strong. Gambling laws and things are changing in the country and how it's going to be taxed. Blitz don't give a fuck. He wants to earn you some money. You got Blitz's big bet here. All right. Trey McBride, an anytime touchdown, and what we expect to be a shootout at plus 130 odds. Trey McBride obviously has been clicking with Jacoby Brissett, and we expect this to be a pass-heavy attack for the Cardinals. So him getting into the end zone makes a lot of sense there. Malik Willis starting there for the Packers, maybe the better quarterback in Green Bay. Over 32.5 rushing yards. We saw when he's been getting into the games, he is not afraid to run. And so 32.5 rushing yards is absolutely doable for Malik Willis. And then Keenan Allen going up against a strong Houston defense, but he's going to have to be involved in that passing game. And 40 receiving yards is a pretty low amount for a guy like Keenan Allen at plus 130 odds. Keenan Allen also looking for some incentives here within the last 2 games. He only needs, I think, like 30 or 40 yards in order to hit more receiving yard incentives. So you know they're going to be trying to get him the ball. Plus, it's part of the game script that you need in order to beat this Houston defense. You need to start getting some aerial attack volume there. So that at plus 130 odds brings Blitz's big bet to plus 806.
Hell yeah. So I got it up right now. Everything looks good. The only thing that has slightly changed, Malik Willis's odds have improved just slightly from minus 114 to minus 112. So you get plus 814, which I just placed a bet. I'm riding along with Blitz this week, man, because I like this. There's going to be a lot of points scored in that fucking Cardinals game. Malik he's a running quarterback by trade. We saw last week that the arm looked much better. I think that was more shocking than the running. So the running here makes a lot of sense. And then Keenan Allen is going to have to be involved if the Chargers are going to keep this thing close or possibly get that win against a really good Houston team. Yeah. Blitz has got a fucking banger here, I think.
Yeah, very nice. All right, man. Well, these are our picks for the week. Follow us, fade us. Don't look at the first 3 games if you're following Mike. Yeah. Pushes are always nasty. That's what's that piss yellow.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Oh, gross. I don't like the way my week started, man, but I feel like there's a chance that maybe to right the ship. I need to right the ship. Now, listen, I don't think I'm in any danger of dropping below like a 50% because let's do a quick math. 25. So 23 games over 500 now. I mean, things would have to go abysmally bad. I don't know that that's going to be the case. So hopefully we get the people right. We can make them some money. And hopefully Blitz's bet, man. I feel really good about that one, confident about that one this week. So,
all right. Well, that wraps things up for us, brother. Week 17.
Oh, yeah. Guys, thank you very much. Everybody who tuned in, thank you very much. Time is the most valuable thing that you have. So anytime that you give some of it to us, we are forever grateful. I'm going to give my man Evo one last word, and then we're going to get out of here until Tuesday, where we're going to recap everything, see how we did, and then get you primed for that last week of football, because no more Thursday night games, right? That should be it.
I believe
Christmas
so.
was it. So we'll have a fun week next week. See you guys all on Tuesday. But my man Evo, go ahead.
Yeah, remember shout out a clothing brand from AJ Brown, where the main slogan of it is "Check on your teammates." I love that. Love that slogan. It works for us both on the military side and as sports fans. Check on your teammates. Make sure everyone's doing good through these holiday seasons. And with that, I don't have a whole lot else, other than production note. If anyone's wondering where that green dildo is, that was back here. It might be gone because my kids are here, or it might be making an appearance up in Buffalo this week. I don't know.
Watch out.
Keep your eye out.
The Bildos could be out in force. Guys, thank you very much. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy New Year. We'll see you guys coming up on Tuesday, but we're going to get the fuck out of here. I'm Mike. That's Evo. This is Raw Dog Sports. See ya.